Let's get it done. We're back. I like this hook. You got a book you want to tell us about? Well, let's talk. There's no other place to do it. Only on Catch Da Craze. Catch Da Craze. Welcome to Catch Da Craze Podcast Audio Mix. I am your host with the most, I am the Crazee Man, Vera, and I am with
George, Dreamer, Medina. What we speeding this up today? You're on quick mode.
Georgie, Porgy, pudding pie. Kiss the girls and make them cry. Leave your homeboys hanging dry. Everyone's sitting there asking why. Go, Georgie.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, that was like a really fast introduction. Like a lot happened in that moment. Bam, 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 bam. Let's go.
So I said, stick 'em. Stick 'em.
What's going on?
So what happened was racing to get here.
Yeah.
And we just got into the studio, and I was like, I got to plug this in. We got to get busy. And so I was feeling that urgency. So I was like, all right, so I'm Sam the Crazee Man.
Yeah, there are 3 minutes into the, 3 minutes.
Trace.
Yeah. We usually record around 7. And so that's why it's Sam. Yeah, but today was kind of tough getting out here, huh?
Yes. I had to. I was having a meeting, and I was like, "Oh, damn, the time just flew." And I broke every speed limit. Hey, drive safely, responsibly.
Oh, boy. It's funny because when I first met you, you didn't drive.
Yeah.
For a while, you did not drive.
I was kind of.
Yeah, this was all throughout the early 2000s. You did not have a car. You didn't have a license. You're a city kid. Grew up in New York, right? Grew up in
and most
Queens.
of the girls I dated all drove, so
everybody drove, so you didn't need a car. But then you moved to Jersey, you needed a car. You just never drove. Your wife used to drive you around. I remember.
Yeah. I was pimping.
Yeah.
So what?
I was pimping.
I was like, balling.
I'm sure Des loves that, right? I was pimping.
I don't know what you heard about me. No. So what happened was I joined an organization, and part of the agreement was within the first year of employment, I need to have my license if I wanted to grow with them.
So they made you get it.
Yeah. So story time.
Oh,
It's early time. I don't even have a theme song for story time, but I'm gonna tell a story. So it is kind of early. But before I go to story time, what guests we have on today?
No. Let's go to story time. Go to the test. We'll go to the guest.
So when I had to go and take my written, I was like, I got this, right? I got this. I'm a smart brother. I got this, just because I haven't been behind the wheel in forever. So I go and I failed.
Oh, you failed the written test.
The written.
Wow.
Yes, it's no bueno, bro.
Dang.
It's no bueno.
Bad
I was
start,
like,
dude.
yo.
Oh.
So then all the ladies at the DMV were like, what happened? I was like, oh, this is horrible. It's okay. You'll get it the next time. So I have to come back.
Uh-huh.
So I go back, and I'm like, they go, that's right, you failed the first time, right? I was like, So now that all of them are behind the counter watching, right? And they start talking. They go, we're rooting for you. So I go there and I sit down and I look over and I got everybody at the DMV staring at me. Not only is it the people that are working there, but now they're talking, and the people sitting there, the hundreds of people waiting to go. I'm like, I said, if I fail, how do I get out of here? How do I not be embarrassed? Right? That was what I was thinking. I was like,
paranoid now.
I was like,
everybody's looking.
So like I'm sweating with every question.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then I didn't realize that once you've answered enough questions, it abruptly stops.
Oh, really?
So it stops. It doesn't let you take any more, ask any more questions going forward. So you have to have a certain amount of questions correct. And once you've reached that threshold, it stops and you pass. I didn't know that.
Oh.
So it automatically stopped and my heart stopped.
Oh.
I was like, and it's like, congratulations, you passed. And when I turn around, the people behind the counter all cheered and screamed so loud that everybody in the DMV was clapping. And I was like, what the hell? I'm that guy. I am that guy.
That special needs person,
my name is Special Ed, and I'm a super duper star. So,
That's a great song. I do know that song. That's a good one. Yeah, old school.
The Magnificent.
Wow, so you passed.
I passed.
Now, how did you do in your driving test?
So then, I went to Colorado, and my in-laws said, hey, get behind the wheel. In Colorado, where the speed limit starts at 75 miles an hour.
Does it?
Yes. And it's in the middle of a hailstorm, and we're driving the mountains, winding roads. And they said, go ahead. Dude, I swear to you, my knuckles were white. I'm like
what
this.
What were you driving? What kind of car?
I was driving a...
Was it a big car or a small car? I mean,
I was driving the Honda Odyssey.
oh, so you're driving a van. You had a van. Wow. So they put you in the van.
Yes.
Sink or swim.
Sink or swim.
Or drive or die.
Hailstorm, driving in the mountain, winding roads. And I'm like this. 75 miles an hour minimum. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And but then they don't need to parallel park out there because, they got, residential and homes, whatever. So I went out to YouTube.
Cali too.
Yes.
California, they don't do parallel parking.
Yeah, so I went out to YouTube and I watched the science behind parallel parking, and then you have to have your steering wheel aligned with the back bumper, whatever, before you start making a turn. So I did that in my head. I was like, all right, cool. So now I'm going to go take the driving test. And
you took it here,
in
obviously in Jersey.
Yeah, so Jersey, you drive up and it's parking lot. It's set up to take your driving test in this big giant lot.
Wow.
I didn't realize that. So I get in and so my neighbor drives there because you can't drive until you get your license. So then he says, get in the driver's seat. He gets in. He says, all right, drive. I'm driving. He goes, okay, I'll pull in here. I said, okay. He goes, all right, parallel park. I nailed it because it's with cones now. It's not with real cars. So I was like, I got this because I did the math in my head and I'm good at math. So I was like, all right, cool. Right. And then he goes, all right, so double park. Then he's all right, drive in reverse. Okay, pulling over here. All right. And then he's like,
drive in reverse?
Yeah.
They make you drive in reverse?
Yeah. And then he's like, all right. And the whole time I'm doing the hand signals. I'm doing everything by the book, right? I'm like, right? And over dramatizing, looking in the rearview mirror and all that stuff, whatever, turning my head. And then he just stops. He's like, I said, what's up? He goes, no, we're done. I said, what does that mean? He goes, you passed. I said, it was 5 minutes, bro.
What?
5 minutes. So I get out the car.
Come on.
I get out the car and I walk away, right? And I look, and this guy, he tells him to parallel park, and he hits the cone, and he fails him because he touched the cone. And automatic. I said, how did you fail? How did you hit the damn cone? You got plenty of space. If you parked the car, even if you had a Cadillac, you still had a few feet in front. I was like, how did you do that, bro? So I was feeling good about myself, and that was it.
That is crazy. So you are in a parking lot.
In a parking lot.
See, when I took my test, you had to actually be on the road with other vehicles.
Not in Jersey.
Oh, my God. That explains everything in Jersey. That explains everything. That explains so much right now. When I come into Jersey, I'm like, what the hell is going on? And don't get me wrong. I mean, listen, people in New York don't really drive in the city but those cabbies are no joke. They're nasty. But like, that was your driving test?
Yes.
Oh.
That's what I said. I said, this is all I had to do.
You waited all those years for this?
For this. I was prepared to do the road.
Right.
And I was like, oh, man.
You training in the mountains. You rocking that.
Man, yes. I was like,
you training in the mountains,
I was
dude.
like, there is no tomorrow. I was like, you ain't so bad. You ain't nothing.
Your wife's like, you can't win.
No,
you see that strong he is?
He's like, what do you want from me, Adrian? I was like, this is crazy.
Oh, my God.
You should have seen the first time I had to go to the Lincoln Tunnel.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, shit. Can I make it through that? I was like...
this wasn't on my driving test in that big parking lot.
So, and then I went to where you got the one lane coming at you and the other. I'm like, oh.
Wow, yeah.
So then I didn't realize how sensitive the car wheels are. So I was like, whoa, right? Because I got nervous.
Oh, no.
And I'm about to hit the brick wall. I'm like, ah. So I'm like, yeah. And that's where he's like, ah.
Oh,
it's crazy.
God.
Crazy.
But that See, all right. Well, I'm glad you got it, though. I'm glad you got your license.
Now I'm a beast.
Yeah.
Like
now you're good.
I could go, because I had to go to Elmsford, New York a lot to see my brother.
Yeah.
And when you take the Sawmill Parkway, it's like
windy. It's very windy.
It's windy, and these guys are speed demons.
They're and you gotta look out for those deer.
The deer, yeah. So it's
look out for those bad boys. They're just chilling on the side, waiting for somebody to come through and
when I
jump in front of them.
To his house, all I hear is Top Gun's Highway Through the Danger Zone. it's crazy because
it's no joke.
Once you master that, and then you master the cabs, you're good. Yeah. So I actually have no problem driving in the city because I'm toe to toe with those suckers.
Well, you got to be aggressive.
Yes.
A lot of people, you be careful. No, you got to be aggressive, man. The minute you second guess how you're driving, you're done. That's when you're done. Yeah. You got to commit. Commit and go, man. Yes. Commit and go. Put your signal, look in the mirrors and go. And I'll tell you this, and I tell this to my girlfriend. She's like, she laughs, but I heard this before. Those cameras, like the rear view cameras and the side view cameras, Those are tools,
Right.
not rules.
Yes.
They're there to help you, but you still have to look, man. You can't just,
Yes.
oh, is that little thing on the mirror blinking? Nobody, oh, that means somebody's there. I can't go, or it's not blinking anymore. I can go. Those things can go bad.
Yes.
And if you're relying on that
And
thing
those
and you're not
blinkers
looking,
don't prepare you for the
forget
bicyclists.
That too.
The people who
People
want
crossing?
they think they're brave and they can beat it. You know?
Right.
So those things sneak up on
So
you.
you still got to be alert, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people take that stuff and they're like, oh, I got a rear view camera.
You can't
dude.
go and play with the stations on when you're driving the city. You can't play with the stations because that 1 minute, that second that you're looking down, stuff happens. And that for me, I'm a defensive driver, so it's like I see it coming and I can see when the jerks
Well,
are
that's
coming.
the thing. You gotta see ahead.
Yes.
It's almost like chess, man. You gotta see what's going on.
Oh, that mother F is gonna try to cut me. Oh, that guy's gonna. Oh, this guy. What? You can see it coming.
I look at wheels all the time when I'm driving next to somebody. I'm looking at their tires. How are they? Are they turning this way because he's about to cut? And yeah, you have to be. I mean, I guess you have to be alert. I'm glad that you picked it up.
I use the
quickly.
force.
You use the force.
So I'm like, oh, the force is
Wow.
strong with that one.
Nice.
Right? So it's like I can sense the danger in the force. I'm
So
like,
how long have you been driving now? Like, how long have you had your license? How many years now? Couple years? 2-3 years?
Hold on. No, a little longer. Let's see. I was there 2 years, and then 1, then 2, and 2, 7 years.
Oh wow, yeah. So you've been all right. So you've been on the road for a while now.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, yeah. So you got some.
And I've been rear-ended twice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Both of them, the people were going too fast, and they didn't see the oncoming traffic slowing down and stopping.
So you stopped.
they-
Bang!
No, I stopped plenty of time, but they were going too damn fast, and they didn't see so I could see the traffic stopping ahead of you looking down down the road, and so the first time I was on the West Side Highway, and it was raining, and it was at night. And I saw the traffic come into a halt, and so I slowed down, and this woman, boom!
Damn.
I thought I was dead. Nothing happened to my car, and I was surprised. I thought everything was broken. The second time, it was the car I have now. It was on the turnpike, and everyone's speeding, and then you make the turn, and then once you make the turn, you see the traffic stopping. So I was like, oh, I slowed down, but I see in my rearview mirror at least 200 yards away, but I could see the fear in their eyes because they were going too damn fast, and they were surprised by the traffic. And it was a young guy, a young girl, and then someone in the back, and I could see a child. And I seen the fear in his eyes. So I was like, oh, he's going to hit me. There's no way. I have cinder block on my left, and I have a car on my right because all the traffic is halted. I said, I'm dead. And so I turned the wheel, and I put my car in an angle, and I closed my eyes, and I said, all right, this is where it goes. I go and get excited to say goodbye to my family. I was like, so I just closed my eyes and was like, all right. And there's this weird sense of peace that comes over you when you think it's going to happen.
You really thought it was you were dying.
That's
Wow.
how fast they came. Hit me. Boom.
You're a writer.
Yeah.
You're a writer.
Yeah, it's
You're a fucking
crazy.
writer. You're very creative. This is very dramatic. I'm like, what happened?
What happened?
What happened?
What happened? So then I was like, so when I come to, I was like, I'm alive? This is ridiculous, right? So I unbuckle, I go out the car. I don't even look at my car. I go straight to them. And I was like, are you guys okay? You hit me, but I'm worried about them because all I saw was the kid.
Well, you got to be careful when you come out of cars.
Yes.
Don't never come out of a car in an accident without looking to see where you are.
Oh, I got
especially-
a cinder block on my
Yeah,
right
but just be very,
So I'm
very
protected
careful.
by that cinder block. I'm not going on the
be
side
careful.
where the traffic
Don't
is.
just come out.
But nobody was moving.
Yeah.
Everyone was just staring at the fact that these guys just hit me. So I go straight to them. I said, are you okay? And they were surprised that I went, and I was worried about them.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. I was like, how's the kid? They're like, yeah, we're good. And I went to the car and I looked at the back of my car and I see these scratches. So I go and put my hand over it. All it was the paint off of their car on the back of my car. Nothing happened because I put it at an angle, so somehow it absorbed the impact, and I was good. And I was like, look, the car's good. I'm all right. You guys all right? There's nothing for us to do here. You good with that? They're like, yeah. All right, get home safe. I got in the car and they were like, what the hell just happened? This guy's crazy. Most people were like, I want your number.
Yeah.
They're going to come out and drop on the floor like, oh, right? I didn't do that because I was like, you know what? We're alive.
Yeah, no, I get you.
You know?
What kind of car? What kind of car are you driving? The car
I
you
drive
have now?
my Mercedes.
The car you have now?
Yeah.
Yeah. You may want to check that underneath that bumper. I'm telling you, just because I
Oh,
work.
no, I've had
I work
it
in the
detailed
industry.
since.
No, not just detail. Like when you take that bumper off, because those bumpers are designed to take the hit, go in, and come back out.
Right.
Nothing happens. When you take that bumper off, sometimes behind the bumper is where the hidden damage is. And when you think it's just a minor fender bender,
there was no dents.
It could be more. Yeah, no. But it could be more. I'm just saying, that's good. I'm glad that nothing happened.
Yeah,
that's scary, bro.
This was last year.
Your hits are freaking nuts.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Nuts. So I always make sure I give you plenty. I give you 2 car lengths, no matter what speed I'm doing. Even if I'm breaking the speed limit, I'm giving you 2 car lengths. And I'm giving even longer if I'm going really fast, like because I want to make sure I can stop. And so I think about those. So most people don't think about that. They're just in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like to. Somebody calling over?
818 missed call.
Yeah, it's a little early.
Was that person?
Yeah. He's in Cali.
Oh, tell him in 10 minutes.
Anyway, let's go. Let's go back to what we were talking about. So all right, so essentially today.
So yeah, we went off topic.
Yeah.
So our topic today, speaking of that, is placement.
Placement, yes. So throughout the month, we've been talking about the 4 P's of marketing, which are product, price, promotion, and today we're going to be talking about place. And when we talk about place, we're talking about how a product or service will be provided to the intended buyer. So where you can buy the product and things of that nature. So we'll be talking about that. We're actually going to be talking about that today. Lucas Culshaw is our guest, and we'll be talking to him a little later in a few minutes. But yeah, just talking about the placement in today's market. Right back when we started, placement used to be. We were all fighting for that distribution, right? We were all going to Diamond because when we were printing out comic books, and as independent publishers, our dream was to get into that Diamond, distribution guide, to be able to get into stores and things like that. Since we started, the game has evolved so much that not that we don't need Diamond, but we don't need Diamond.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Word.
If you want to hit the stores nationwide, Diamond's still the way to go. Comic book shops still get that Diamond, distribution guide. They look through it and they order books from there. But now with the internet, with Instagram, with Amazon, with Barnes and Nobles, with their online services, with Comixology, with all these, venues, we can distribute our books and we can make it accessible to the public.
Yes.
In different ways.
Yes.
You've been doing that throughout the last month.
Yeah.
You've had your books up on Amazon. You've had your books up on Barnes and Nobles. And that's something that back then we couldn't even dream of doing, right? So that's what placement is. Placement is, where we provide the intended buyer our product.
Back then, you had to go through a whole vetting process.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah. And even you had to buy the ad in the book, and that ad was ridiculous and all that other stuff. It was insane. I mean, how are you finding your distribution channels are working for you right now?
Right now, it's just Amazon.com and BarnesandNobles.com. I'm formatting the books for print. Working on finding a print-on-demand organization that's going to be able to give the quality that I'm looking for and also meet a specific timeline. Like, so for instance, if someone says I'm going to order it, it should be more than a few days to get it, so I just want to make sure that I find a company that's reputable to do print on demand. So I'm working on that because I'm not planning on doing any like bulk printing or anything myself. And when I decide to do any appearances in the fall, that's when I'll have a few copies printed for that, but nothing major. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah,
right now, for my books, and I've been very fortunate. The book is on BarnesandNobles.com. It's on Amazon.com. My Adventures of Wonder Duck, and they're also on Comixology. So you can download the book through Comixology, or you can order hard copies through Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. So those are the I guess.
So wait, so is it individual issues on Amazon, or is it the trade?
It's a trade.
Okay. Yeah. So what size format is it in for Amazon to be able to print, to order it in hard copy?
There's 7. They're 6.25 by 10.15 by 125 or whatever.
So
comic book size.
So we gotta ask your boy how he did it, because the only options they give me is 6x9.
Yeah. See, the publishing house, which is Darkfire Press. Check that out, darkfirepress.com. He goes through Ingram. Ingram is you've heard of Ingram.
Yes.
So he goes through them. So they provide all of that
Ah.
for him. So whether
Well, I'm going through individuals.
exactly
Right. Yeah.
exactly. So
I'm still doing grassroots.
yeah. So I don't know if he sends them the files and then they reformat it, you know, for printing,
Right.
or how they handle that. But yeah. So I mean, essentially, it's about placement. So even though we think, oh, we got it down, all right, so I got my book, right? I got my price. I know how much I'm going to price it at. I'm promoting the crap out of this thing. Now it's about getting it into the hands of consumers. And there are different ways, obviously, like
Right.
when you're an independent, you're doing it one way. I'm doing it this way. There are many different ways. Some people print on demand, like you're trying to do, and they do shows and they go on to shows and they do that.
Right.
Some people have local, and a lot of local comic book shops will say, hey, if you're a local artist, we'll support you.
Yeah.
And they'll buy a couple of your copies,
Yeah.
on consignment, and they'll say, okay, how much are you charging for the book? We make this much, you make this much, and you call it a day.
Yes.
Or some places like I think you had mentioned this on another show, where if it doesn't sell, we'll just give you back the books.
Right.
And that's it. It is
Right.
what it is. So yeah, there are different ways, but you got to make sure to see what works best for you. Right now, you're like, and you mentioned last week, you're in promotion mode.
Right.
So you're not really thinking. You're in the branding stage of your
Right.
products. You're not really thinking about where it's. I mean, you're thinking about it,
Right.
but you're not making any real moves
Right.
to get it there yet until you're completely ready for it.
Right.
Which is also a smart way to go. But as independent artists, and I stress this a lot, we are artists and we are creatives, but we also have to be businessmen.
Yep.
And we have to know what the business is, how to promote. And I'll be honest with you, I've been on Facebook and I've been talking to a lot of guys on Facebook, and today's independents are very savvy about how to go about these things. So, there are plenty of groups on Facebook. If you guys have questions about anything, there are plenty of groups on Facebook that you can join, that can give you those answers. There are, we've talked about it at great lengths here on Catch Da Craze. So tune in the whole month about how to go about certain things. And LinkedIn, which you spoke about last week, that's a great, I never even thought about linking with people on LinkedIn. Right. But it's about the kind of people that you're talking to on LinkedIn. This is more on a business side of it. You're talking to, people who make decisions, so those kind of things. What are some of the things that you can, that you would suggest for people to look into, for distribution or for getting their stuff out there?
I think if you want to just do localized stuff, then go to your local shops.
Right.
If you want to branch out, then you need to start learning the applications and all that stuff. Unless you're pitching it to somebody like Dark Fire Press or whatever. I think you got to know where your limitations are and what you're not willing to do. Once you've established that, then you'll know what you need to do. I think that's the first part, because I think sometimes people lie to themselves and they say they take on, I want to do this, but really don't have the means, whatever. So I think start small, put feelers out, talk to people locally, do some local shows, get some feedback, right? Take that feedback, learn from it, adjust, But do you want to go straight online and ebooks? Well, the venue's there.
Right.
So it's you can convert it and create a profile with Amazon, and they allow you to do that. Doesn't guarantee you're going to sell it.
Right.
That's where you have to hustle, and you have to get the word out. So same thing with Barnes & Nobles. Just because it's in their database doesn't mean it's going to move.
Yeah.
Because when you look at what they're putting their promos on, they're putting it on the big boys. They're putting it on the Simon and Schusters and the Random Houses, and they're doing it with the Marvels and whatever, because they have the name and the notoriety.
Yeah.
So you're just going to be on the shelf,
right,
hoping someone's going to notice you. That's where the real work begins. That's why you need to be able to understand what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, and that's a perfect example of how everything comes together, right? Because you're right. You get on their shelves, so to speak, right? On their virtual shelves. But how do people know you're there? Is by promoting your product and telling people that you're there.
Yeah.
And then when you do promote it and you do get people to look at your stuff on the shelf, the pricing that goes into is it worth? Okay, I'm paying for this much Do I want to pay that much for that product? Now you're looking at your product and they're looking at the artwork, or they read the first page and they're looking and they're saying, is it worth that amount of money? So it's all intertwined. So you have your product, your pricing, your promotion, and your placement. And those are the four things that are going to sell that product. So you have to make sure that all those things are working in conjunction in order for your product to be successful. Now, hey, luck is also, sometimes you got to get lucky. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah.
And if the right person buys your product and ends up in their hands, and they happen to be a producer, or they happen to be somebody who's willing to put more money into it because they like what they read, that's the goal, right? That's the dream right there. To have somebody who says, all right, listen, I have some money, I want to invest in this thing. Let me talk to this guy. Let me see what he wants to do, you know? But you have to be out there, and you have to have that placement. You have to put yourself out there in order to get those opportunities, because without that placement, you're not going to have those opportunities.
You're not going to get jack.
So it's all, it's all a big web, and we have to be ready for it. So
yes, that's why placement counts. And again, it's the same philosophy applies in a lot of things. When I was in security, I should tell my guys, keep moving. Don't stay in one position because you'll walk into it, right? And so most of the cases came from when they were mobile. And I remember I was like 4 hours gone by, there were no cases. And this is retail security. And there were no cases. I went to the camera room. I was with my guys. What's going on? Are you guys working or not? They go, well, there's nothing happening in the store. And they go, you think you could do better? And I said, if I go out there and get a case, I'm taking you out of the camera room. Oh, you know if you get a case. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to go out there right now. I'm going to get a case, and you're going to...
When you say a case, you mean somebody stealing something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm going to catch a case. Right? So,
a case of what?
So I swear to you, it's about it's luck, placement, location, just walking into it. So I remember walking out the door, going out to the sales floor, and right in front of me, the guy walks over, to the tie table, loads up his bag. So I get on the radio. I'm like, I have a 1010 going towards, and everyone was like, no freaking way.
Because there's always somebody stealing.
Yes. So it was about the right place, right time.
Right.
Right?
Damn. No, that's.
But it applies. So it's just the same thing we're here.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about being at the right location, being at the right event, the right venue, the
Yeah.
right bookstore.
Yeah.
It's just the right conversation. You could be at a coffee shop. I say it all the time, and just have a conversation with a stranger, not even know that person's going to change your life.
Yeah. I remember when we were in San Diego one year, and at the time it was me, you, I think Jonathan was with us, and I don't think Aniba was there, but we had the Street Journal.
Yes.
And we had like a
calling.
preview. Oh, we're getting a phone call.
We're going to go to
that
commercial.
story after.
This is Catch Da Craze. Give us a second. We got a commercial. All right, we're back, and we have a very special guest on the phone right now.
Hello, how you doing, Lucas?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good. Everybody, this is Lucas Culshaw. Lucas, the gentleman who picked up the phone was Sam Vera. He's the host on Catch Da Craze, and I'm the co-host, George Medina. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good,
Doing
man.
good.
You're calling us from Cali?
Yes, I am.
Nice. So what? It's 4:30 over there, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, right in the nose.
No, that's awesome, man. So how are you? How's everything going?
Good. Just a little tired. Was up late working on some art.
Oh, okay. All right, good. For those who don't know, Lucas, just tell us a little bit about yourself. I was reading here in your bio. You're originally from Minnesota?
Yes, I'm from Minnesota. About maybe like 16 or more years ago. I don't know. No, I moved out to California after graduating from the Joe Kubert School of Comic Book Art, and then I kind of made my career out here as a concept artist, storyboard artist, and then just made like short films and movies on the side.
That's awesome, bro. So you graduated from the from the Joe Kubert School. When did you graduate? What year did you graduate?
God, I'm so old. I don't. It's me.
The reason I ask is because we have a buddy of ours. His name is Anibal Arroyo, who went to the Kubert School. So I
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
sure
I
if.
know. I was a classmate of his. Yes,
Oh,
he's
there you go.
very talented artist. Yeah.
Okay, yes, yes. Actually, he was the one who said, "Hey guys, you guys got to get Lucas on the show because he was yeah, he was very interested. I think it was with his way of catching up with you through us. I think it was what it was. But
Yeah.
yeah, so you made the move to Cali. So you always did you always want to make movies, or you were more leaning into like comics, and you just said, hey, you know what, let me go make some movies and go to Cali. How did that move happen?
Well, I think mostly like the DVD craze kind of like brought me out here. All the special features that like saw a lot of like the supplemental um, information they had on there. Like they had a lot of storyboards. They show off a lot of that stuff, and I was
Right.
like, hey, I like always liked movies, and I was like, hey, it's kind of like comic books and movies combined. That'd be kind of neat to do that for a living. So I kind of honed my craft a little bit, and then I was like, cool, I think I'm ready to move out to California after I had a little stint back home in Minnesota for about a year and a half after school. And I
That's
made the
awesome.
long drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that must have been a scary move though, right? Going saying, you know what, let me just go, see what happens out there in Cali.
Yeah, when you're young and
Yeah.
not knowing much, you can make those foolish decisions a lot easier.
Oh, absolutely. You're fearless. We were talking about that the other day on the show, how fearless you are when you're young, right? You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go do this, and you just make the move. How has it been out there? How has
uh,
the move been?
it's been good. I've been
Yeah.
very fortunate. I kind of got dinged a little bit. We had the writer strike out here a
Mm,
few years back when I was really trying to make my move as a professional, and kind of gave me a little bit of a setback, but I was able to rebound in a different way.
good for
So
you. Good for
yeah.
you. So what have you been doing out there? You've been I know that you've been doing some film work. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I a lot of concept art. I was in the Costume Designers Guild for a number of years. Worked on I think the biggest, most well known movie was like Zoolander 2.
Oh,
I
sweet.
did a bunch of stuff for Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson's characters in that, and just a lot of like ended up getting like bunch of little indie movies. I found my groove, um, drawing storyboards for music videos, like and a bunch of like graphics and stuff like that for that. So like I've touched so many music videos in the past decade that are with high profile artists that were kind of cool to see. And then I lucked into working for Universal Studios as a concept artist for Halloween Horror Nights, the big Halloween event out here.
Yeah, yeah,
So I've
yeah.
been drawing monsters in that for that event, which is pretty fun.
That's sweet, man. So I mean, I'm assuming that it's just a lot of networking when you're out there, right? A lot of like just meeting different people.
Yeah, it's pretty like once you get in the pool, it's pretty
Hmm.
it's pretty small. Like
Yeah,
everyone knows each other, so be on your best behavior. Try to
right.
always bring it like stressful because you always have to like feel like you're putting 100% every time you're on a job. There's not
Yeah,
much slacking involved. You always kind of have
right.
to keep on hustling. Like last night, um, at a job where a couple of the pre-production days got cut short by two, so I turned 3 days of work into one day,
Oof,
and that was yeah, it turned into
gee.
like a nice 16-hour day of work just to get my clients work in on time, hit that deadline. So meeting those deadlines is probably like the number one priority of mine.
Right, right. Wow. Do you feel? I mean, and obviously with the work that you did, even when you were out there at the Kubert School, do you find that prepared you for some of the stuff that you're seeing out there right now, or is that something that just you just can't prepare for, and you just gotta have to like?
It's mostly just like learning how to create your own work.
Mm,
There's a lot of downtime can happen when you're first moved out and you're first starting your career.
mhm.
So you kind of have to like, you know, promote yourself, like hone your craft, just always trying to do something to like bring extra income in, even if it isn't um, your main skill set, just find something on the side. So, I besides being an artist, I was working on movie sets as a PA and maybe assistant. I've done stuff from craft service to special effects to costume design and, assistant, just all over the board. And then just like, then I was kind of hitting up the local college out here. We have USC, so I was helping a lot of those young kids out on their projects, and a few of them have gone on to do some bigger stuff, and it's always nice to know those guys and plant those seeds as you will.
Right, yeah, you're almost like paying it forward, right? You're kind of doing some of that stuff. Yeah, no, that's awesome. That you mentioned that you worked on you did some work on Halloween Horror Nights. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience? How was that? It must have been exciting for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something new every year. We're lucky we get to work on a bunch of different properties that are movie related in the horror world. So each year I gotta kind of be a little bit of a nerd and revisit pay homage to all these great movies. And it's one of Universal Studios, one of the biggest studios in the world.
So you've done some work on King Kong, for example, and things of that nature, or?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
No. I said you've done work on King Kong, for example, and things of that nature, or?
Oh, more I think years in the past we've had what is it? Yeah, there's so many. Almost every year I kind of do an info dump on what we've done. But we got do a Guillermo del Toro maze for his ghost story. Name escapes me at the moment. Or we did Evil Dead. That stuff. So you kind of I gotta draw a bunch of Ash designs, or recreated Henrietta from there. So just being able to have a little fun in that world.
Right.
Revisit it. It's very fun.
Nah, that's awesome, bro. And then I know that you have passion projects that you've been working on, some shorts and some short films that you've been doing. Can you talk a little bit about your short films?
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you move out here, you kind of everyone has a script, and I guess I am such a workaholic. I just wasn't just didn't settle for just writing it. I was like, well, I just want to make this.
Right.
There's a lot of gatekeepers out here that tell you can't do something, and now it's digital filmmaking has allowed you to you have a camera in your pocket now with your iPhone, so you can just get a bunch of friends, put some thought into it, make sure it's trying to be the best it can be, and then just see how it goes,
Yeah.
And I think no one right out the gate makes their feature film become a number one A-list director, but you can at least see where your mistakes are and improve on them by having a something that's fully realized. Right. And then you can see, hey, that didn't quite work out. Let's go try something different this time. Or, hey, I kind of wanted to try out this type of shooting with my camera. Let's go do that with this one. And then you have other friends that like to do it too. So it's always fun to help them out,
Yeah.
A couple of friends wanted to film a little short a couple of weeks back, and I was like, all right, cool, let's go and film for the day. And
right.
Yeah, it's just something. It's nice little hobby. Expensive hobby sometimes. But yeah, so it's kind of neat. I've been fortunate. The first feature I wrote and produced ended up getting worldwide distribution for the most part. So it was horrible reviewed. But it's always fun. I always thank those guys. I'm like, hey, you watched it and decided to write about it. That's kind of neat.
Yeah,
even
of
if
course.
It's even if it's not the best thing I ever made, but that's why you make something else. Make it a little better next time,
And you know what? I guess you develop tough skin when stuff like that happens, and it's all right, cool, let's just shake it off and keep moving, right?
Yeah, I definitely have a tough skin when it comes to my art, because you're constantly told that to make changes or make revisions based on someone else's taste.
Right.
You're always you kind of relinquish ownership of your art at some point. You kind of letting other people kind of tell you what you want. So I think it lets me I have a little bit of nice nice eye, if you will, for what an audience wants, because I'm always trying to serve someone besides myself.
Right. Yeah. 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 It's kind of crazy how that works, right? Because your whole time, like even me, like as a creator, for example, you always talk about, oh, I want to write the stories that I want to read or I want to do, and at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, it's almost like you have to. It's a thin line, right, between that and between what's gonna get, you know, sold or what's gonna get seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like how do you find that you have to deal with that? How do you you know, walk that thin line?
Well, I just compare it to cooking. I love to
Mm.
cook.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the thing that you can make that like brings joy to other people. And so you make something that you like, but you're also ultimately making it for someone else to eat.
Mm.
So I just kind of like keep in that mindset, and then and then there's really no feelings hurt. I mean, sometimes people don't like pickles on their burger. So you're like, all right, well, next time I won't do that. So
Right.
you can't please everybody
You
either. You know,
can't.
sometimes you're like, well, tough. That's what this has. So just deal
Right.
with it. And if you don't like it, and nothing else can do. You just don't have that taste. You know?
Yeah. No, you're right. And you know, you spoke about like when you're out there, you have, friends that kind of say, hey, you want to film something, and I think that that's important because it's almost like it keeps you motivated to do things, right? When you have people that have things that like you that they like, it's easier to go out there and just create with them, right?
Yeah, and I think you do find you quickly find if you like you click with those people too. Sometimes you make something you're like, well, that's not my cup of tea,
Mm-hmm.
and then next time you're like, okay, I see that they're always making something that's not quite mine or that's my standard or my taste. So you can like go, well, I'll help you out, but not my,
Right.
just
Yeah.
be aware of that. But like other times you work with people and you're like, oh, you're just like, same mind, and you like can make everything and just together, and it's pretty easy breezy. I went, that's like my producing partner,
Mm-hmm.
filmmaking partner, Yusuf Abu Talib. We made this short film, a while back ago, and we really clicked on set. So we're like, hey, let's go make a feature. So we went and made a feature film, and that's the one we're kind of finishing up right now.
Nice. So the short film you're talking about that you hooked up with, is that the amazing Mr. Moji?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that
that was
was the
something.
one. Okay.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, I met Yusuf on this movie set. I'm not a movie at I guess web series, when web series were really kind of like this big thing called Bite Me. It was like a zombie web series, and I was a costume designer on that.
Nice.
And we just kind of like kept in touch, and then we are like one day like, hey, let's make something together. And then we're like, hey, we like making stuff together. Let's make more stuff.
Nice.
So
So what are you working on right now? What's your feature that you're working right now?
that was right now titled Continue 987.
Mm.
It is a movie about depression in video games,
Oh, okay.
and having a creative block, and based on exterior circumstances you can't control, and how to get past those.
Nice. So how far
Kind of
along?
like a
Go ahead. I'm sorry,
uh,
Lucas. Go ahead.
oh yeah, yeah, I was just saying it was like kind of like a indie Better Off Dead. But as far go, everything's done. We're just been in, since it's you know small
Hmm.
do-it-yourself filmmaking. I think I've been in post for the last 2 years on it, and
Right.
we're just kind of finishing up right now. So
Hmm.
we're just doing like just sent off the latest cut off to my producing partners, Yusuf, and the um, other producer we had on it, and they're just waiting for notes, and then we're gonna like discuss it and see if there's any problems with storytelling that they see. I've been living with this thing for more than they have, so they
Right.
like to have a little bit of a different perspective,
Yeah.
and then you kind of make your adjustments, and then just try and make it better and tweak it, until you're
Right.
ready to send it off.
So in a feature film, when you say tweak it, does that mean reshoots? Like, would you have to see?
No, 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 no. I think it's
Okay.
more like a story. There's story problems. Like editing, you can kind of like
Okay.
it's like a big jigsaw puzzle.
Hmm.
Sometimes the piece isn't quite where it could be. And it's a jigsaw puzzle where you can kind of like shift things a little bit more. You can kind of make that puzzle into the picture you want it to be. So it's just like little things, like, oh, I think we could probably cut that little scene a little bit
Gotcha.
shorter, or
Gotcha. Gotcha.
let's make this emotion a little bit more pronounced by like holding a cut longer, stuff
Right.
like that, or like, hey, let's go and put some different a different sound effect in the background, or just a million different things to make it better.
No,
There's a million ways to make it wrong.
It sounds like a lot. So when you, for example, when you start on a project like this, right?
Yeah.
You did the writing on Continue 987, or do you guys co-write together?
Yes. I from a story that Yusuf and I kind of collaborated with. He kind of said, I like kind of like this. I'm like, oh, cool. I got the same thing in the same world. Let's like combine it. And then I wrote the script. Spent about 2.5 years writing it.
Right.
I was writing it during the time we'd shot Mr. Moji.
Okay. And then from there you go into storyboarding. Like, do you also? Then you
no.
Okay.
No. No, I wouldn't. I storyboard, and I will. I don't like storyboarding my own stuff. I can visualize. Like I usually shot list is like really what the director likes to do. That's where you're kind of going, hey, we're gonna come in here with like we can establish a shot, medium or a wide, or just like comic book. You know, you're just kind of like kind of like scripting a comic book. You know, so you're kind of go in there and make it work, and then you just get on set and throw that all away and do something that works better for the space. You just prepare.
Yeah.
But so when you're on set, you're like realize you haven't prepared enough.
Man, so you're constantly it's constantly a moving, like you said, it's a jigsaw puzzle. It's almost like a moving jigsaw puzzle, right?
Yes, correct.
The pieces are constantly just moving.
But I'm a puzzle guy, so I like that's like in my world. Like I've been editing this myself, and I've edited everything I've shot. So it's always kind of like I feel like a little bit more slight ownership of it that way. Even though I don't own it, at least I like have my voice. Hey, one day it'd be nice to be able to get the huge budget thrown my way and have someone else come in and do all the laborious work and go back and be like, hey, you can do all this. But for now, it's nice to be able to like kind of go in there and cut your teeth in there on something like that. Well, gives you like a little bit more of a voice.
Right. Yeah. I almost feel like when you do this from the grassroots, because you have your hands in everything, once you get that big, budget or whatever, you pretty much know what everybody's job is. So it's easier for you to kind of like say, okay, I want that done this way. And I know it can be done that way because I've done it. So let's get it done that way, So
and brings a great deal of empathy, I think, to like the struggles of your other crew members. You know that like, oh, I don't want this guy working fucking 30 hours on this. I'll give him some easier notes to like accomplish. So,
right. Yeah. It's amazing, man. Like the world of filmmaking is a completely different animal, I feel like, than what people see on the screen, right? People just see the finished product like, oh, that was cool, but the amount of hours behind the scenes is what we don't really see, Yeah,
and that's, I mean, you just definitely, I think that lends to like you can tell the people who are really passionate about it, because I think there's a lot of people who come in there and they go, hey, let's go dip my toes into it, and it's an incredibly hard thing to do and very laborious, and a lot of mental energy can go into it, and a lot of your life can get sucked away doing this especially if you want to like do it correctly, that's my wife. Unfortunately she's an artist also, so she understands, but almost every night I do about wake up in the morning, put about an hour and a half into the movie, come back home after a 8-10 hour day and put another like 2, 3 to 4 hours into it, and just do that, rinse and repeat. Take a couple like that, but then also like make sure I schedule a day or two where I do have like take care of myself mentally, and
of course this thing can drain you. It could totally just it could kill you, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the other day you come home and go, oh, I'm gonna take a little nap. 4 hours later you wake up and go, oh, I think I needed a rest.
Man, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. But I'm glad you're following your passion and you're doing what you love to do, because that's important, man.
Yeah, it is definitely. I'm very lucky to have this like passion. Not many people are able to act on their passions and like pursue it, and so I've been very fortunate, So I mean, it'd be nice just to like. Sometimes I wish I'm like, oh, it'd be nice if I were just back in Minnesota, working the 9 to 5 and
Right.
hanging out in a cabin in the summer, and not really like just doing some fishing, but. I get a little antsy.
I'm sure. Well, do you get out there at all? Do you get back out to Minnesota and do some of that stuff?
My parents, my dad was a construction worker, and he had a company that gave him a pension, so it was a nice retirement. So I get to like enjoy his retirement perks every now and then.
There you go. So. All right, well, that's good, man. Lucas, I thank you so much for. I know you're exhausted. Thank you so much for taking this time to speak with us. Yeah, we had your website up, but we were talking. It's lucasjamesculshaw.com. And when we spoke briefly on Instagram, I told you we usually pre-record the shows, so your show will air at the end of the month, March 27th.
Cool.
So just make sure that whoever knows you knows that. You'll be talking to us on Catch Da Craze podcast on this 27th. But again, thank you so much for spending some time with us, bud.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, no, thanks definitely. For having me. No, that. And when let me know when that Continue 987, how that's moving along, and when we can hope to see it soon.
Oh, definitely. I will be making sure that's the last leg of all the work you have to do for the last year. Once you release it, you have to go and make sure you promote it so you can sell it.
There you go. So. All right, Lucas. Well, thank you so much, but I appreciate you.
You got it. All right. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye.
So I didn't go to commercial for this one.
Yeah, just right to it.
How did that go?
Excellent, man. Excellent. Lucas, interesting character. I knew. Because Anibal mentioned his name to me, and I reached out to him. He was like, he was really cool about coming on the show. I forgot he was alumni of the school. Yes. That's amazing, man.
Because Anibal gave us like every graduate from the past 20 years.
That's amazing.
I think he must have made a deal with them. They might have done his homework, and he said, "I'll get you on Catch Da Craze down the road."
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he was thinking when he was getting the homework done. But Lucas, man, amazing. So he moved out to Cali and said, "Let me go to Hollywood and do my thing."
Back to Cali.
Good for him, man.
Cali.
So yeah, we'll definitely be on the lookout for Continue 987.
Yes.
With our friend James Culshaw.
And you don't stop.
Yeah,
but 187 undercover car.
So this is the end of the month show. And next month, we're going to be doing the live show. That's it. End of the month already, man. Flies.
Go.
Did you know that their kids sing?
Whose kids sing?
Boys to Men.
Really?
They each have sons, each one of the four, and the kids have formed a group. And I can't remember the name of the group right now. But yeah, if you Google like Boys to Men's kids,
right, you'll
see that they have a group themselves that they put together. They actually sang the national anthem at the Rangers game a couple of weeks back. Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah, so they have kids.
Are they called Son of Men?
I think they're called Men to Boys.
Men to Boys?
I'm lying. I don't know what the name of the
Mental Boys?
Yeah, mental. What was I gonna say to you? Yeah, so next month. Oh, you got another call?
No. What is wrong with this guy? Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so just for the audience, next month we're gonna have a lot more guests. We are working on the guest list right now, but I think on April 1st, which is our live show next week. Which will be on April Fool's Day. That's going to be fun. We'll have that for you on Facebook Live. Will be the live show April 1st. And that show will air on the end of that week, which is the 3rd. And then the rest of the month, we're planning out our guests. I have comic book owner. I will give you guys a name at a later date. You'll see it on our Instagram.
Right.
And we'll let you know the name of the guest. For that show, but yeah, we have a few guests that we're going to be talking to. And
we're going to have some really good guests. In April, we have a Deli Burrito and we have Bunny.
Yeah,
check out that Bunny.
Bunny. Tell me about Bunny.
It's a real cool
Bunny. We got to talk about.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk about Bunny.
It's gonna be hot.
All right, cool.
But yeah, we still have we're still working on April, but we have lineups already. We got Anibal Arroyo on the live show. We got Bunny. We got Deli Burrito. So it's looking good.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. And we'll continue that story that I started to tell you on this show next week. But for right now, I think we're going to sign off, right? Sammy, we got to get ready for...
Yes, I let
next
the others
recording.
call me Eddie, but for you, especially because I said so spaghetti. I am Sam the Crazy Man Vera. If you are listening to the show, if you are watching the show, if you subscribe to the show on iHeart or Spotify or any of those things, show some love. If you haven't subscribed, go to YouTube. If you want to watch the video live, show some love. All right, so don't just creep. Get down and let us know that you're there. All right, so I'm Sam. That is
George, the dreamer, Medina. Yeah, you're like, I'm like trained now. I hear the beat. I just say my name.
That's
It's
it.
sad.
That's it.
Sad world.
Sad word.
Peace out, y'all.
You so crazy.
Acquiesce.
No, it's about my friend Acquiesce. I met him.
Say my name, say my name. Right?
This is what you were thinking? Yes.
How he described me? He said, I'm the...
You're listening to Catch Da Craze. You're listening to Catch Da Craze. You're listening to Catch Da Craze. To Catch Da Craze. You are listening to Catch Da Craze on Catch Da Craze. You're listening to Catch Da Craze.
Candy girl.